what do we expect now to happen in terms of Gaza, and what will it mean for civilians? Because they've been told to leave, but many people have said, where are they supposed to leave and go to?
So I think when we talk about civilians, just to put it in the right context, the civilians that were attacked on Saturday were our civilians. They started this, Hamas, a cynical, heinous organization. There was a lot of people that said, it's just talk. They launched a combined offensive. Hundreds and hundreds of terrorists moved into communities. Not only, I mean, if they were only targeting military targets, that could have maybe been by the, could be understandable, but they kidnapped and carnaged children, grandmothers. We have dozens of hostages in Gaza as we speak. As we speak, there's still 8 locations in communities where there's firefights and hostage situations. So before we talk about the evacuation of people, right now Israel they started it. This is something unprecedented. I mean, just to put it into context, it's the largest number of Jews killed in a single day since the end of the Holocaust.
Yes.
We've never had anything like this. So again, the mindset of, okay, so they fire rockets, we do that. It's something different.
Of course, and everything you said is factually correct. I suppose what talking to you, you are international spokesperson for the Israeli Defense Force. It's what is the next chapter in this horrendous story, which, as you correctly say, was started on at the weekend by Hamas. What is going to happen to people who are living in Gaza, some of whom, many of whom have nothing to do with this? What is going to happen to them, and what are your feelings about them?
First of all, we have feelings towards the people in Gaza, the kids, and the tragic situation where Hamas have taken these innocent people basically captive. And again, they're entrenching themselves within the civilian population. Their command centers, their weapon stashes, all within people that are living there. Differently from them, we will attack only military targets. But yes, some of these military targets are within the civilians. What we will say to them is, leave your building, go north, go south, go to another neighborhood, because we will be severely responding to this. Severely.
And this attack, which seems to have taken everyone by surprise, there have been many questions asked about the government, intelligence services, the military, the government response. Obviously, you don't know what happened at this point, but this was something that perhaps there could have been an intervention. Clearly, again, I'm stating the obvious here, this attack came from Hamas. They are responsible. But presumably there have been other potential attacks in the past that have been avoided because of Israeli intelligence, and that didn't happen this time around.
So that'll be a very, very big question that will probably be talked about once this is over. There'll be books written about it. This is, again, it's an epic event here. But I prefer that failure to talk about it down the road. It was a surprise attack, and it's going to be talked about. But right now, again, our focus is, when we talk about, you asked me about the next chapters. First chapter is to bring back the situation where there's no terrorists inside Israel, inside these communities. Get our control back on the border. Most of the locations on the border we've already fixed. There's some areas that there's still breaches. We're covering them by air and also with ground forces. It's ongoing. And of course, now we're responding. One of the areas that we're now striking in Gaza is the launch pad, where they're all organizing these hundreds of warriors, of killers, to storm into Israel, into these civilian areas. So we've been targeting these areas. And that's basically right now the focus. We are also looking at the north part of Israel. We were ramping up our readiness up there. There's been some events there. We're ready for the north. our good American friends sent in a battle group with a carrier, and with a message that came from them, from General Carrillo, the Central Commander, the CENTCOM commander, who said, we're coming to support our Israeli brethren to make sure that no other party joins this.
Mm. Finally, Richard, I just want to ask you about one criticism, one theory that has been talked about. We were speaking to Noga Tarnopolsky. She is a reporter in Jerusalem, and she was saying, obviously, when this kind of thing happens, the Israeli people look to the government and the army to protect them. And they say there's been some criticism because they feel that too many people within the army, too many forces were pushed towards reinforcing the Israeli settlements on the West Bank when they should have been protecting the borders, which were breached by these terrorists. Do you think that's a fair criticism?
So right now, again, I'm wearing my uniform. I have a lot of appreciation for Noga. I think she's a great journalist. Listen to what she said very carefully, but on that behalf, the army is still ready in Judea and Samaria, and is still ready in Gaza, and we're reinforcing our forces. We're basically these three fronts: Gaza, Judea and Samaria in the north. We've mobilized a lot of reservists, near the number of 200,000, to ramp up our defenses. This is a time of war in Israel.
Richard, thank you for talking to us. That is Lieutenant